Good hello and welcome back to Star Wars Jedi Survivor. This is episode 24. Last time, I ended the episode right before we landed on Tanalorr. Why? Because it was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be on Tanalorr. So I'm actually partway through here. So what you're about to see is what I recorded and was originally supposed to be part of last episode, but is now part of this episode because of how long it was going on. And I don't know how much longer there is, but you will see where I got up to at the end of my last recording session, and then I'm going to continue recording from there. But yeah, we had a lot of fun, or I had a lot of fun, recording everything so far, which you're about to see. Enjoy. Tanalorr, here we go. I wouldn't want to go to hyperspace for something in the same system. That seems quite reckless. Quite reckless.
Hope Grease is ready for a bumpy ride.
Okay, here we go.
Cal, is it time?
We're heading to the Abyss now. Fire up the arrays.
I'll be monitoring your progress from here. May the Force be with you all.
And you, Z.
Right.
Well, what do you think is taking Z so long?
Angarl was the only person to live through what we're about to do.
At least we will die together.
Hey, great pep talk, kids. Hopefully they can fit that on my tombstone.
Look,
Okay, off we go.
Wow. Here we go. I know. You want to fly this thing?
Wow.
It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah. I'll bet that's what all the other poor saps said right before they were torn into Vortex Chow. Great. Now it's an obstacle course.
This is really cool.
They're coming too fast.
but you are faster. Stop piloting and start flying.
I'm rerouting power from deflectors to the engines.
What are you, crazy? You're trading safety for speed.
Exactly. We're all in on you, buddy.
You're right. It's my ship, ain't it? Greasy does it, baby. Hey, wait a minute. Is it me, or is this tunnel getting a tad cozy?
It's not just you. Z, what's going on?
The arrays are overloading. There's nothing I can do.
We need to go faster. faster.
I'm going as fast as I can. Wait a minute. Are you crazy? If you jump into hyperspace blind, they'll be picking up pieces of the Mantis all over the outer rim.
Do you trust me?
You know I do, Cal. Let her ride.
Now.
You did it, you three-armed son of a gun dart!
Well, at least none of us lost our cool. Wow.
This is great.
I hope it's worth it.
The Abyss. Okay, we got a databank entry. Grok's End. Grok is killed stealing a valuable fuel injector from Imperial territory. Though Dana managed to recover the injector, she's still processing the loss of her partner in crime. We read the arrays, we read the alignment control center. I guess we're on to the Abyss. Piloting through the very heart of the Kobo Abyss, Greaves at last rediscovered his confidence, deftly maneuvering through the debris of starship wreckage. However, around them, the path began to fray and collapse as the arrays on Kobo began to fail. Hearing the voice of Seer in his mind, Cal drew upon the lessons of his former mentor to guide his hand, trusting in the Force, and pulling the hyperdrive controls, launching the Mantis into a blind jump. The Mantis skips through hyperspace and, after a tense moment, emerges on the other side to a beautiful blue-green world, Tanalorr. Okay, now on here... Or are they outside? They might both be outside. They are. Hello, friends.
So, this is it. Tanalorr. You and Maren be careful out there, okay? Yeah, you too, BD.
We'll all be okay, Grease.
I'm gonna hold you to that, Cal. I don't plan on living out my days on this rock, especially not with that traitor.
We'll be back soon.
Later.
Right. Rest here. Haven's Edge. But currently equipped in special shot in the stance menu. What? Oh, okay, sure. Charge up your blaster for a more powerful shot. Hold and release F to fire a specialty round that bounces between enemies. I guess we do that one. Okay. Am I going to use it here? No. Okay. Well, there's really... Check the map. There are some databank entries to find. One over here somewhere. Over here a bit further. High Republic droids. A now obsolete Republic droid fallen during the battle with Nihil invaders of Tanalorr, the droid gave a valiant defense of the planet. Okay, and there was another one over there. Probably that pillar. Jedi meditation spot. Overlooking a natural vista, Jedi of old often frequented this spot to clear their minds and find calm within themselves. It's really gorgeous. That view there. Okay, let's get going. We will check the map every so often to see if there's a data bank
this is
or anything to
Tanalorr.
pick up.
Not what you were expecting?
I don't know what I was expecting. So much has changed since I first heard its name.
Fair enough.
The temple's this way. Dagon and Centauri Kree planned their future here.
And look where it got them.
Yeah, Dagon got kind of obsessed there towards the end. And I think Cal is on the verge of doing the same. And turning to the dark side for a similar obsession. Not for Tanalorr though, but I think it's vengeance in his mind. That is so cool. You want to give me control of my camera? No? There we go. There's a... No, not that. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do this. There we go, because I want to see that. Give me the default view. What is that? Missile or something? Escape pod? Not sure. It's cool. Okay, go back to that and you can... no. Exit this somehow. There we go.
Bode will not let this end peacefully. He has already used fatherhood to justify betrayal and murder. Now we have him cornered, with nowhere else to run. He will kill or be killed.
Well, we need to find another way if we can.
Say something!
You're right. But what about Kata? She's not much younger than we were when our families were taken from us.
I know.
You and I will carry that loss for the rest of our lives. But Kata still has a chance.
Yes, she does. Very well. We will give Bode the choice to stand down. For Kata's sake.
And ours.
Good work, Cal. I'm glad you spoke to her about that. Yep. I want you to scan it. Buried invasion. The unexpected invasion of Tanalorr forced the Order to flee their new sanctuary. How the Nihil discovered Tanalorr remains a mystery. Probably a traitor of some sort, a Republic traitor, or a Jedi traitor. Don't know which. No idea. Haven't really read any of the High Republic comics or books at this stage, so this is the extent of my knowledge so far. Is osmosis. No, not osmosis. That's...
I keep thinking about something Seer once said. A warning. Every Jedi faces the dark side. I feel so much hatred towards Bode.
Seer won her battle with the dark side. You will too.
He's still here.
Good.
Okay, well, there is a databank entry over here. There's an entire cave over there if we can get to it, which could be cool.
Fall back to the temple. The Nihil are enveloping our position. Master Gera, that is an order.
Last stand. The Jedi, led by Dagon Gera, make their last ill-fated stand against the invading forces. Okay. I'm just exploring over here because there's a cave-looking thing right there. It's not much of a cave. It doesn't go anywhere. Okay, there is one more scannable thing at the entrance to the Jedi Temple there. I don't really know much about the Nile. I know that they're an enemy. They didn't sound particularly threatening to me, but when I heard about them, but, you know, I haven't read any of the stuff, so I don't know for sure. Ceremonial Fountain, a tri-pointed water feature built to symbolize the three core pillars of the Jedi, the Force, knowledge, and self-discipline. Jedi strive at all times to gain a mastery over all three. There's 4 points. Are you talking about tri-point? I don't know. Okay, in we go.
Do you hear that?
Kata.
Hiding in the night. All your friends are oh so bright. When the sky is clear, I can sense you're near, looking down on me. Ghost star, silent in the sky. Now I start to wonder why. CD1.
Hey, Kata. This is Marin. She's a friend.
I'm sorry Papa hurt you.
Yeah.
He said I'd never see you again. What are you doing here?
Kata, your father stole something very important. We're gonna ask him to give it back.
Will you show us the way?
Okay. Follow me. I don't like it here. It's dark and lonely.
You don't have to be afraid. Better?
You're very pretty.
Are they gonna raise the kid together? Is Bode not gonna stand down? What language is that? That is not Aurebesh. What is he doing?
Kata! How did you get here?
It wasn't easy.
You shouldn't have followed us.
Papa, don't!
Stay back, Kata. This is the only way to keep you safe.
She will be safe. I promise, Bode. But listen to me. It's over.
Lay down your weapons.
This planet will be a haven for those hunted by the Empire, including Kata and you. But you have to surrender now.
Go outside, Kata.
Listen to them, please!
Yeah, didn't think he'd stand down.
I will decide what's best for my family.
You shall not escape us.
There we go. We're gonna stop Bode here.
Distract him. I will strike from the shadows.
Well, we're going somewhere. I wish I hadn't done the dark side thing right at that moment. Okay. Ow.
Help, please!
That was well timed.
Another sim!
Stay away from Kata.
There we go. Get through that defense.
Need an assist! Stim, now!
Run while you can.
Well, need to get out of this. Okay. Okay.
That's it. Bleed out.
Hey, bud, Stim! Throw it!
Okay. Cal, you need to stop. Good work. Okay.
You know you're weak. Let's do this.
Help!
Okay. Let's see. Ow.
Stim! Help me, BD.
There we go. We're through his defenses, but we don't have a lot of healing left to us. So we really...
Not a chance.
Give me a stim.
Oh, I was trying to avoid you. How do you avoid that? That is so freaking hard to dodge. Oh, we got to do the whole thing again, don't we? Oh, good. Okay, come on. Let's go. Let's go get it done. This is not an easy fight. Oh, there's a force echo.
Our decision is final.
Master Ancesis, please. He has the will to fight.
And I admire it. But it is not only his life we would risk. The ships are leaving. There is no time. I suggest you both join us.
Last plea. Faced with imminent abandonment of the planet, they toiled to reach Dagongera and Centauri Kree, make a final impassioned plea to the Jedi Council. Okay. Now,
Ready?
Detonator!
I know your moves.
Fine! You will yield!
You can't beat me, Cal.
I'm hit. Hey, buddy.
Distract him!
Ow.
I will strike from the shadows.
Now, BD.
Die. I see.
ow! I have used more health packs this time than I did the first time in this section. Okay. Right, and then we go through this, and she throws me at him. We end up down here. I swear we went through more.
Die now.
Toss me one, BD.
Disappointing. Get out of it. Okay. And his defenses are down.
Little help, BD.
There we go. We're nearly.
Learn to fight!
There we go. Now we're past halfway. We should.
Stim!
Okay. Right, we're through this bit again. Okay, that was closer than I would have liked.
Hurry! Quick, help! I need help, bud.
You're not walking out of here alive.
No, I'm not, because the moment you start with that, I apparently get wrecked. Because I can't get out of it once I get hit once. Like, I hate that. I hate getting stun locked and then just annihilated by it. Okay, let's try again. But that's what it was, is just that damn stun lock section that's the worst of it. There we go, we're into this section again. Good. And I'll take that health when I need it.
Got a trick for you.
Or if I accidentally walk through it, here's a time when I need it. Okay. Ow.
Help, BD!
There we go.
I know your moves.
Ow.
Stim!
That was close. That was a lot closer than I would have liked. Ow.
What you got, Captain? Stand still.
BD, here!
Right. Through this part.
Throw it.
Ow.
Please. No. Threat to my family.
Ow, fuck off!
BD.
And now we pretty much have no ability to heal left.
Right here, BD.
Yep, that's all of our heals done. Ow. Well, either we do this perfect, pretty much, or we're fucked.
You were always weak.
Fuck off! Okay, we're done. I'm just gonna take the loss here. Can we not... Can you just... Try again. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Okay, double-bladed really didn't help us much through
Ready
that.
yourself for combat. Keep your guard up.
Shit!
Yield!
I know your moves.
Distract him! I will strike from the shadows.
There we go. Get through that.
Help me.
Okay, there we go. Okay, excellent. Okay, next stage.
Then please. Help me. Here.
Ow, fuck off. Really? Of course we won't get hit by that again.
Buddy, help!
There we go, we're nearly through.
That hurt!
Well, I didn't mean to grab it at that moment, but I guess that's what... Fuck.
Over here!
Nope, didn't work.
Resist. I need help.
Okay, next round without a blaster, which is the hardest bit. Okay.
Up here. Help me! Here!
Shit, I hate this.
I need one.
Come on.
A little help, bud.
Last heal. Ow, I blocked that. I blocked that! What the hell? I hate this fight. That last section of it sucks. So bad. Right, there we go, next stage. Okay. And it threw me through that this time.
Got a trick for you. This world is mine. Should have stayed away.
Okay,
Die. Not a chance. Learn to fight.
there we go, we're doing better.
good night.
Now we're gonna have to deal with that.
BD, stim! Now!
Oh, really?
Ready?
Okay. Let's get through this bit.
Right here, bud.
I need to jump. Ow! The fuck is happening? Why?
Hey, BD.
Why can you not avoid any of that bullshit?
You know you're weak. Help! Pathetic.
Fuck off! I was dodging that! I hate this. I fucking hate this. What?
Toss me one, BD.
No! Freaking hate this damn thing. We only have one heal left, and I'm in a worse position than I have been previously. Really?
Not a chance. Stim, BD.
No!
Bleed out.
There's nothing I could do. I despise that last bit of the fight. Because I think I'm gonna have to walk away from this and try again another time. Yeah, I'll be back to the game later. I can't do any more. It's late night. I'm getting frustrated and I'm starting to play worse. So I need to take a break. Come back at this tomorrow, I think. Here we go. Another attempt. Let's see if we can get through this guy. So, well, I'm gonna keep going until we beat it and continue from there, because looking at how long the recording was for the episode already, this is clearly a new episode now. So I guess we're just continuing. I don't know how much there is. It might be the end of the story, it might not be. But 24 episodes seems like a good place to do that at. Ow.
You will yield. You will break. Watch out.
Toss it.
I am not playing very well here, am I? Ow. Nice. Oh, shit.
Disappointing.
Distract him. I will strike from the shadows.
Ow. I mistimed that. Ow.
Hey, buddy.
Ow.
It's over.
we're back through this bit. I lost far too many stim packs off of that first part. Should I be using the blaster stance for this, maybe? I don't know. Ow. What am I doing here? Ow! That's gonna hurt.
Help, BD. Ready?
What the heck? That was definitely my own fault.
BD, stim here.
Hit me, hit me, hit me. No, not like that. There we go. There's that next stage we're up to. Now it's up to the hardest bit, isn't it? So let's lock onto you and see if that helps at all. Ow! Excuse? I hate that bit. You can't... Dodging from side to side is really, really hard. You know what? Let's grab the blaster stance. Why not? We can change charged shot. Ricochet is useless here, so we'll go with that one. And let's see how we go with this. I don't know if it'll be any better, but it's not gonna hurt, is it? Oh, what are our, okay, with this stance, the blaster, we have holding it to block, hold F for the special shot, point blank, quick draw, which is not gonna help. We got flying lunge and energized fury. Okay, so we can parry with the blaster. I've never actually used it, but I know we have that ability. Okay, let's see if it works.
Let's do this.
Or not if it works, if we can manage it would be more accurate. Okay, that really doesn't work for us at all. Okay, that is not working.
That hurt.
Distract him! I will strike from the shadows.
Okay, there we go, next stage. We only used 2 health packs that time, which is a lot better. Maybe I'm just better with the blaster stance. Okay, so, okay, that didn't work. There we go. Let's get through that.
Bleed out.
Ow. Oh! No. Well, that's us dead and I didn't get my experience back. I was trying to dodge through it. When you're locked on, you really don't have a lot of control over it. I hate locking onto enemies. I really do. I was trying to get through the health pickup, and it wasn't working because I was locked on, so I had very little control over where my guy was going. How do people play locked on? Seriously, it sucks. And yet, with blaster stance, if I want to hit him properly, that's kind of what I have to do. And he also is reflecting a lot. Really? Really?
Another stim.
Distract him! I will strike from the shadows.
Disappointing.
Okay, we only used 1 that time, but it doesn't matter. We didn't... Like, we're missing out on that experience. Does it really matter, though? We don't really need the extra experience, I guess. Like, we've already unlocked most things.
Got a trick for you.
Let's get out of that as fast as possible.
I know your move. Buddy.
Ow.
Stim. That hurt.
Ow. Okay, we're going to get rid of lock on and go for this. There we go. We're doing all right with our health packs this time, which is good.
You can't beat me, Cal. Help me. Pathetic.
We're actually doing really well with blaster stance.
Ready?
Oh, you piece of shit!
I
should have stopped locking on, but I didn't. Ah, okay, blaster stance is the way to go with this fight, because apparently I'm just really good in blaster stance. So we're just, like, I don't even use the blaster that often, to be honest, but it does a shit ton of damage. I thought it was supposed to be relatively low damage.
Seize the opening. You will break.
Come on. I need help, bud.
Distract him. I will strike from the shadows.
Okay, there we go. Next stage. Okay. Still on 11 stims, which is good. So blaster stance is the way to beat this guy, because apparently I'm just relatively good in blaster stance, surprisingly.
Stim!
I didn't mean to get that at that time, but that's fine. Push you. There we go. Ow, I meant to dodge that and I pressed the wrong button.
You can't beat me, Cal.
Mistimed that.
Now, BD. I need help.
I didn't mean to use two there. I meant to only use the one. There we go. Next stage.
My family. Don't resist.
There we go. Okay, we're through there.
Die like the rest.
Okay, get you off me and then heal immediately.
Hey, BD.
Gotcha. Nice. Give him a chance. Give him a chance, Cal.
Don't put this on your daughter.
Bode, we know what it's like to grow up alone.
Please, listen to them, Papa.
All right. And when the Empire comes, will you be able to protect my little girl? I'm sorry, Kada. I tried.
No, Papa!
Stay back!
Come on. Come on. Wow. Okay, you still could have given him one more shot. But okay. Well, Bode's gone. I kind of get his side of it. He really wanted to protect his kid, but also not at the expense of the rest of the galaxy. That sucks.
How are you feeling?
Better. Thanks.
Good. We should speak. I was not much older than you when I lost my family. For many years I carried this pain. I did not want to feel better.
Why?
I thought if I let go of the pain, I would be letting go of the people I loved. But I was wrong. And one day, I met someone who also lost his family. Together we found another way to survive. This pain is yours. It is part of you.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, the game crashed! No, not there! Oh. Really? Okay, I guess I'm rebooting the game. Do I really have to... Oh no, do I have to do the fight again? Do I have to do the fight again? Are you gonna make me do that fight again? Oh... Oh, you know what'd be worse? If I miss out on that cutscene. If instead of making me do the fight again, I miss out on that cutscene. If it skipped... Oh, don't do that. I would rather do the fight again than skip that cutscene. Please do not skip the cutscene. Please don't skip the cutscene. Oh no. What a terrible place for the game to crash. And for some reason it takes... hello? I've just got a black screen here. The game is not running properly for some reason. I'm looking at this black screen in front of me, and it's clearly not recording, because you're seeing what is, you know, the background that I was using for Fallen Order, which I use as sort of a placeholder behind this in case something like this happens and the game crashes and I need to keep talking. Yep, the game is giving me a black screen. So this is good. Okay. I'm gonna quit out and force close the game. And I will be back. I will restart my computer and hopefully the game will run properly then. Also, hopefully it doesn't make me redo that, because that would suck. Okay, restarted the computer, started the game back up, can see what's going on now. Let's hit continue and hope it either restarts the fight with Bode or goes straight to the cutscene and doesn't skip the cutscene. The second option is the best option, but I would rather redo that fight. Okay, I think we're redoing the fight. I'm good with that, as long as we do not miss out on that cutscene. So I'm gonna skip until I beat the fight a second time. Because you've seen me beat it, so I will show any deaths that occur in between. If I beat it this first time, you'll just see the full fight. Otherwise, I'll skip through to showing you the winning fight against him, because... because there's no point in seeing me redo what I just did.
Distract him! I will strike from the shadows.
Hurt.
Well, it's not going too badly, at least. I haven't had to use any stims yet.
Die.
Ow.
Not a chance.
Okay, get you off of me.
Let's do this. Hurry!
Okay. Final stage. We got this. Okay, get him off me. There we go.
Disappointing. Just die. Like me. Right here, buddy. Pathetic. Another stim. Learn to fight. You were always. Help. Fight! Toss me one, BD. There we
go. We're up to the final little bit. Final little bit. Okay, good. There we go. Okay, we did get it first try. Good. Okay, now hopefully it won't crash in the cutscene again.
Don't put this on your daughter.
Bode, we know what it's like to grow up alone.
Please, listen to them, Papa!
It's a very good cutscene.
All right. And when the Empire comes, will you be able to protect my little girl? I'm sorry, Kada. I tried.
No, Papa!
Stay back!
The acting is just so good. Like, the motion capture, they've done so well. Right here, Cal, you had a chance to leave it. To leave it alone. And there's one more chance here, but instead you execute the guy. You didn't have to. Oh well. It's over, I guess. Poor Carter.
How are you feeling?
Better. Thanks.
Good. We should speak. I was not much older than you when I lost my family.
No crashing this time, please.
For many years I carried this pain. I did not want to feel better.
Why?
I thought if I let go of the pain, I would be letting go of the people I loved. But I was wrong. And one day, I met someone who also lost his family. Together we found another way to survive. This pain is yours. It is part of you.
When my mother died, it changed Papa. And me too, I guess.
Yes. But it does not have to define you. And you must not let it consume you.
So now they're gonna be parents to this kid. Cordova, Seer, and Bode, I think, are the three bodies. The Force theme. Oh, in such a somber tone to the Force theme. love this theme. You're gonna put your toy on his pyre, aren't you? Only makes sense. Leave it behind. And also, from a kid's perspective, give your parents something of comfort as they go off into whatever semblance of goodbye you think they're going to. I guess in Star Wars, becoming one with the Force. That was a weird waddle there, Meryl. Oh, okay, never mind, we're speeding through time. Cal's just standing here for ages, and okay, that's why it was a weird waddle. Because everything around him's moving very quickly because he's just supposed to show how caught up in reflection he is. He was there all night. The fire's going out, and he's still standing there.
You saved my life, Angarl. You let me walk my own path when I needed to. You taught me what it truly means to be a Jedi. Now you're gone. We will continue your legacy, Seer. We will build something that can outlast the Empire. I promise you that. I promise. But I'm scared. I almost lost myself. I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm ready for what comes next.
She could have actually become one with the Force in the same way that Qui-Gon did, which is not fully manifest yourself until you've, gotten some... Because she... Like on Jeddah, she was working with the Narcus Anchorites and learning, picking up all sorts of information. So she could potentially be in the same state Qui-Gon was and actually manifest herself in the Force to some degree.
Cal, guide her through the darkness.
And because Cal's got psychometry, he can have a connection there that, like, she might not be able to appear as a Force ghost properly, but she can appear to Cal because he has that very special ability, psychometry. So that's... Okay. So now we're teaching Carter the ways of the Force, I guess, and raising her... Or Cal is, along with Merrin. That's fantastic. That was a great game. I imagine this is a shorter episode? But that's okay. I still want 100% it. I still want to go grab all of the gear, all of the items. Probably go after all the plants, but I'm gonna do that in extra little episodes after this point, I think now. Try and get all of it together. Because I wanna grab everything there is in this game. I've loved this game. The combat is fantastic. Blaster stance I didn't like to start with, and look at me go. In the final episode here, it is what won that fight for me. So Blaster stance is excellent. It does a lot more damage than it seems to indicate. Yeah, it does a lot of damage. It has nice range to it if you need the range portion. I think it's honestly, like, in terms of damage amount, it seems to be the best stance because it's still relatively quick. Whereas, you know, Crossguard is really slow. It does high damage, but it's so slow it really doesn't help that much. Whereas, yeah, Blaster is relatively quick. It does pretty high damage. It's got a decent block meter, as well as seems to increase the parry window that you have ever so slightly, which is really handy. It might be, coding-wise, the best stance, surprisingly. But yeah, I have adored this game. I think I really, really loved, in fact, Hollow Knight when I played that for the first time. And even going through Steel Soul, even though I haven't beaten it yet. And I will get back to it eventually. I don't know when. I might go through an unconventional playthrough first, without Steel Soul. But I will eventually come back round to trying Steel Soul again. Precisely when I have no idea. But this has been brilliant, and I think it's overtaken Hollow Knight as my game of the year. Part of that is because I love Star Wars. When Star Wars is done right, I will fix that. When Star Wars is done right, I love Star Wars. Now, I have some points with Star Wars where loads of people will say one thing and I disagree. And I like what I like, people like what they like. Everyone loved Andor. I didn't hate it. I didn't like it. I just, at no point at all during my time watching Andor did they make me care about either the story or any of the characters. So I didn't dislike it because there was nothing wrong with it. But I was left at the end of every episode going, I still really don't care what happens to anyone in this show. And I don't know why that's the case. But with Andor, yeah, I was left after every single episode that I watched thinking, I don't care what happens to anyone here. I really don't care. I mean, I didn't particularly like the character of Andor from Rogue One. I didn't dislike him. I just, you know, he suited a purpose. He fulfilled that purpose. But I didn't care enough about him to care about the Andor show coming along. But I didn't let that, you know, taint my experience going into it, because I thought, you know, they could surprise me. They could make me really, really like the character and really care about them, but they just didn't manage to ever bring me in that way. So I would love to sit down with someone at some stage who really enjoyed the show and go through with them, like even watch it through with them and maybe and go through why they like it as much as they do, because personally I don't understand that. It's, you know, I know that so many people really, really loved it, but I didn't care about it. I didn't care about anything that happened in it. And Now, granted, the last episode of it I watched was the prison escape. After that, I just went, it feels like I'm wasting my time with it, so I didn't watch the last 2 episodes of the season. I might change that before the second season rolls around. I might try rewatching it. I don't know. I want to understand why it's so loved and what it is that grabs people that didn't grab me. There's also other Star Wars things that I actually liked that other people didn't. I disliked probably 2/3 of The Last Jedi. The third that I did like was everything to do with Luke. And most people will go, oh, Luke was badly portrayed. No, actually, what that he was portrayed as fit perfectly with how a person's nature changes over 30 years. Especially someone like Luke, who then goes on to find out, like, between Return of the Jedi and there, precisely what his father had done, like, in episode 3, the slaughter of the younglings, like all the number of people he'd killed in the meantime. And so this idea that, you know, there is a glimpse into the future of Kylo Ren and seeing that he could become another Vader? Yeah, in a moment of weakness. All this fear and anxiety on that whole thing just takes over, and that he gives into the darkness briefly enough to want to kill his nephew, to stop another Vader. But it's still giving into that darkness, and it happens ever so briefly. Like, we've seen Luke give into the darkness again in Return of the Jedi with the Gamorreans force choking them. We saw him do it when fighting Vader in front of the Emperor. We know he has those moments if you push the right buttons to make him just flip. And the good thing about Luke is he knows how to pull himself back from that, and he did with Kylo Ren as well, or Ben Solo, I guess. He stopped himself, but all Ben saw was his uncle standing over him with a lightsaber drawn, with this look of anger and vengeance on his face, and then anguish after that. But so he did it too late, and because of that, Luke lost his entire student body, and then depression sets in, so he disappears off to a corner of the galaxy and cuts himself off from the Force. That's, like, that fits perfectly with how someone would act over the course of 30 years, and things like that happening. And that's the part of that movie that I really like. I don't like the whole escape sequence, which is another third of that movie. And then the final third is everything on not Cato Nemoidia, that's a completely different planet. Canto Bight. That entire sequence was both completely unnecessary and really shitty to watch. It just, you know, at the end of it, they go, oh, everything that happened there didn't matter a slight bit because the guy betrays them and they didn't manage to pull off what they'd gone there to try and do in the first place. So yeah, I really, you know, 2/3 of that movie, I didn't like. 1/3 of the movie, I really did like. And then I watched, you know, the next movie, which was the Rise of Skywalker, and the opening crawl of that movie made me despise The Last Jedi, because the opening crawl goes on about how, you know, the Emperor returned, and it's like, I want to see the movie where the Emperor returns. Screw what we had in the last one. That would be a great movie to cover his return and what it was describing in that opening crawl. And then as the movie went on, you know, my first viewing of it, I didn't mind it. My second viewing, I started to notice there were problems. And then so I saw it twice in cinema. Once, the first time, like, midnight viewing, you know, the release midnight screening. The second time I took my dad to see it because, you know, he's not a late night person and was working the next day as well, so he wasn't going to be able to do that, and he likes Star Wars. So I took my dad to see it after that, on my next viewing, and I started to see problems with it, and as I went away and kept thinking about it, I saw more and more and more problems with The Rise of Skywalker, to the point where I hate that movie. I cannot stand it because even within the sequel trilogy, it doesn't adhere to any of the rules that had been established in the previous two movies. Well, I'm not going to say any, but the worst thing about that movie is the shafting, the absolute shafting of Finn, who I think was by far the most interesting character in that trilogy. By a long shot. He was, both in terms of the actor, whose name is John Boyega. So, name briefly escaped me there, but John Boyega's acting in that role was absolutely brilliant. And also, like, the character was just the most interesting character. A stormtrooper who turns against the Empire, and then, like, as you watch it, you're like, he has the Force. And then Rise of Skywalker goes on, he definitely has the Force. And they're just ignoring this guy. Like, you know, in Force Awakens they didn't ignore him, but in Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, he became a useless piece of the story. And not by any fault of the actor or anything, but the writing. It was just, they shafted the best character. I didn't mind Poe until they screwed him up in The Rise of Skywalker and completely invalidated the entire comic run that they'd done on his comics, which also made me go, okay, no point reading Star Wars comics anymore, because the moment a filmmaker or anything decides they want to do something different, Star Wars comics don't fit canon anymore. So it invalidated my desire. So it invalidated the comics and basically got rid of any desire to read external material anymore, which sucks that they did that, because, like, even in when the extended universe was a thing, I loved reading the extra material because it didn't get invalidated. And on the occasions it did, it was minor things, not major character points. Like, the entire run of his comics are basically useless, because supposedly he was a smuggler and not part of the, you know, New Republic, which, yeah, it doesn't fit. But then, you know, they go on and do really terrible things, like, hey, if a Force ghost can interact with physical objects to the degree that Luke seemed to be able to, and raise it out of the Force, raise his X-Wing out of the water using the Force, so that Rey didn't have to do that, then why not just, you know, Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan together go and stop the Emperor as Force ghosts? What can he do to them? Nothing. Like, what can he honestly do to them that they could have stopped him at any time? But no, like, it just... It does some really stupid things. And then the shoehorned, ludicrous Rey, Kylo Ren, Ben Solo, whatever you want to call him, romance at the end came out of nowhere, didn't make a single bit of sense, and just took me out of the movie entirely. You know, justify a romance in a thing if you're gonna have one, but don't pull it out of left field. Like, this game and the previous one, building Cal and Merrin's relationship so perfectly was great. Like, they built it up so incredibly well. And Yeah, thank you to all the people involved in this game, because you did a brilliant job. All of the actors, absolutely brilliant. But yeah, The Rise of Skywalker for a good, probably year and a half, I think, after Rise of Skywalker it came out. Maybe it was a little less than that. Maybe it was a year. It destroyed... No, it was longer. It was a year and a half, but there were some exceptions to it. It destroyed my love of Star Wars. Like, I would have said before then that Star Wars was one of my favorite fictions of all time. Probably my favorite fiction of all time. And then Rise of Skywalker, the more and more I thought about it, it honestly made me hate Star Wars and not want to watch any of it, until I reached a point where I went, you know what? I'm just going to ignore that the sequel trilogy exists. It is the only thing I can do, because none of the sequels in that trilogy can stand by themselves. Each one follows in such a way that you need the next one in the story for it to make any sense. And none of them work, and they don't work together. They're not cohesive. They ignore things established in the previous movie. They change things from each other constantly. And so it's just really shitty. And it made me really dislike that trilogy. And in turn, like, I disliked Star Wars for a good chunk of time. Then The Mandalorian came along, and I managed to somehow avoid the spoilers about Grogu. So when I saw him turn up in that first episode at the end, I was shocked. Like, I got that episode 2 weeks later because Australia got Disney Plus 2 weeks after the US did, so I had to wait 2 weeks for that episode to drop, but I managed to not see any of the spoilers before then, so I was jaw-dropped when Grogu turned up at first, and was just like, no, they didn't just introduce that in this show. It was great. And that sort of rekindled some of my love of Star Wars, I think, was seeing The Mandalorian. And I've loved every season of The Mandalorian since. You know, there have been some episodes that really didn't have a lot of point to them in the end, but it didn't make me dislike them. You know, I really like the proper Star Wars spectacle that it gives. And yeah, it's got a tad more of like a prequel sort of feel to it than an original trilogy feel. And maybe that's why some people don't like it. Because it kind of brings back memories of the prequels, and I know there's a lot of people who don't like the prequels. I like them. There are things that are wrong with them, and I understand, you know, some arguments for why people don't like them. But I grew up with the prequels. First Star Wars movie I saw in cinema was Attack of the Clones. My parents made a deal with me at the time. I was 12 when that movie came out, but made a deal that I had to read the book before I watched the movie, so I read through the book. And I think like the weekend before I went to see it in cinema, because at that stage they released the novelization. I think it was like a month before the movie came out. For that one and for Revenge of the Sith. But yeah, I had to read through the books before I could see them in cinema. The novelization of it. And then, I saw that in cinema and I loved it. And there were some differences from the novelization, but that's okay. I think the novelization covered the romance between Anakin and Padme a lot better than the movie did. But yeah, it was such a good experience seeing that in cinema. But yeah, the weekend before it came out in cinema, Phantom Menace was on TV, so I got to finally watch The Phantom Menace as well, because I hadn't seen it before then. I'd seen, like, the first Star Wars movie I ever watched was Return of the Jedi, which I watched when I was 8, I think. A friend brought around the original trilogy on VHS, and I said, which one do you think is the best? We'll watch that one. And he said Return of the Jedi. So we started with Return of the Jedi. Meant I didn't ever get the reveal of Vader, unfortunately, because I watched the wrong one first. And I wish I'd watched through in order instead, but I didn't. And then we bought the VHS collection of them shortly after that. So I'd watched the original trilogy by the time I was the whole original trilogy while I was 8 or 9, I think it was. I just didn't get around to seeing The Phantom Menace until Attack of the Clones came out, and the reason for that was my parents thought that Darth Maul, would have probably scared me as a kid because he looks particularly evil to children, I think is the idea. And so they didn't let me see it until it was on TV, before Attack of the Clones came out. And then I did the same thing when I was 15, when Revenge of the Sith came out. Read the novelization, then went to see it in cinema. I went with a youth mentor and a couple of other people that were also mentored by the same person, by the same guy. Took us to see it. But again, my parents wanted me to read the novelization before I went to see it in cinema. I didn't quite finish the novelization because I was 2 chapters away from the end, and was trying to read it the day, basically the day I was going to go see it in cinema. But I was reading it in class at school. During a lesson where the teacher wasn't there, so they were just playing movies. But the substitute teacher was a hard ass and went, hey, they left this movie for you to watch, even though it's one that we'd all seen before, because we'd been shown it before. So I wanted to do something productive with my time and actually read the last couple of chapters. They confiscated it, and I didn't get it back till after school. I also had to go talk to the principal because I was reading in class, which seems insane to me that you get in trouble for reading in class when the alternative was to watch a movie that we'd all seen already and was only vaguely relevant to the lesson anyway. Because the teacher had shown us that movie previously, so it was ridiculous. But anyway, that was my experience with Revenge of the Sith. Was 2 chapters short of the end of the novelization when I went to see it. That's fine. It happens. But yeah, and then during COVID, when no new movies were being released, cinemas here in Australia, because we weren't locked down at this point in time, started... there were no new movies coming around, so they started showing classics. And I got to see the original film, A New Hope, except it wasn't the original version, it was the specialized, the special edition one. But I got to go see that in cinema finally, and I was so happy when I got to do that. And I did the same thing for Empire Strikes Back. But I missed, unfortunately I missed seeing Return of the Jedi in cinema. I forgot the weekend that was supposed to be on, I forgot it was on, and I missed my screening for it, and it sucks, because I would have loved to see that one in cinema. That is, Return of the Jedi is my favourite Star Wars film. It's brilliant. I really do love it. And yeah, it was the first movie, first it was my introduction to Star Wars. But, you know, if you want really good Star Wars games, let's move on to that for a bit. Really good Star Wars games, if you haven't played them, play the KOTOR and KOTOR 2. They are great. They are RPGs, they are great storytelling RPGs. The Jedi Knight and Dark Forces games, so the order to play them in if you want to go through the full Dark Forces Jedi Knight story is Star Wars Dark Forces, Star Wars Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight, and then we begin with the Jedi Knight series. So Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight is basically a transition period between Dark Forces and the Jedi Knight series. But the first Jedi Knight game, like in the Jedi Knight series, is Jedi Knight Mysteries of the Sith. It's the one that I haven't actually finished yet. I've played about half of that game, and I want to get back to it eventually. But I haven't finished it yet. So I don't know how that one ends. I also don't think I ever finished the original Dark Forces, so I do need to go and do that some stage too. I think I got halfway through that one as well, but it was, you know, it's an old game, so it's really quite difficult. Then after Jedi Knight Mysteries of the Sith, you go to Jedi Knight Jedi Outcast, which is, I think Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast is the precise title, and then Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, and that series of games, main character Kyle Katarn, great character. Really good character who I hope they reintroduce somewhere into Star Wars now. At some stage I'm going to go through and try and devise my own version of canon, what I consider to be canon, so starting with like the Old Republic era, then the High Republic, and then going into I guess the movies would be how I'd organize it, and then from the movies into the Mandalorian and the other ones set there, the other shows, Book of Boba Fett. I really liked Obi-Wan Kenobi show as well. I know a lot of people didn't, but I did. Again, it's got some issues, but that's okay. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. I still really like it. I liked their portrayal of Obi-Wan. I liked a lot of it. I didn't really care one way or the other about the third sister, I think they called her, Reva. You know, I didn't dislike the character, I didn't like her, I just didn't really care. The actor played it well, I think it was just badly written, in that case. I mean, it wasn't even badly written, it was fine. Like, the character was fine. There was nothing wrong with it, there's nothing good with it, it is fine. There's another Inquisitor. They went a bit far with it when they sent her after Luke, I think that part was completely and utterly pointless and kind of stupid, but other than that, it was fine. And then, yeah, what other Star Wars games are really good? Oh, Squadrons was great. Go play Squadrons if you haven't done that. I grew up with a lot of Star Wars games, really. Episode 1 Racer on Nintendo 64, brilliant game. Was the game I got when I bought my Nintendo 64, or my parents bought it for me, more to the point, when I was a kid. But it's the one that came with it, and that was great fun. Yeah, I could talk about Star Wars all day, I'll be honest. Like, I love Star Wars. What was I discussing? Oh, the order in which I see canon. Yeah, after the TV shows, you know, Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, and whatever's to come in that era, sequel trilogy doesn't exist. Instead, we move on to Young Jedi Knight books from back in the day with Jason Solo, Jason and Jaina Solo and Ben Skywalker, those are a better trilogy. I mean, it's more than a trilogy, but those make for a better set of sequel films than the actual sequel films we got. The story that they go through, and then, you know, you got to move on to Darth Krayt and Cade Skywalker eventually. Like that whole side of things is very good. And missing out on that because they want to go, oh yeah, well, Leia and Han only had one kid, and that was Ben Solo. And also Luke, well, he didn't have any kids at all. So the Skywalker line ends. Oh, except Rey's now calling herself Skywalker. Oh, like, I hate that. I really do. It just would have been so many better ways to do that. And, you know, I just, what a good, like, set of stories we got in old extended universe stuff. It really was. Oh, I find it hard to go back to now, but another really good Star Wars game to play would be the Force Unleashed. I find it really hard, like, in terms of story, don't play the second one. The second one kind of ruins the first game, but the first one, the story in that is great. I can't really deal with the gameplay anymore. When I first played it, it was great. It was kind of the gameplay of the time, though. But going back to it, it's really hard to get into with the gameplay because it's just, it's not good gameplay, really. Or at least I don't think it is. I don't think it aged well, is the best way of putting it. But the story of that game is very good. Very, very good. And I think the story should still be part of canon. Because I think it still fits. There are small changes you would now need to make to it to get it to properly fit with the way canon's gone. But it's worth it. The story there was great. These are long credits. Yeah, I at some stage I will go through and try and create my definitive list of what I consider to be my own personal canon and what I don't, because I think that's the best way to look at Star Wars these days, is instead of listening to what is Disney canon, or what is extended universe and going, it has to be one or the other. There is a way to mix and match, and I think everyone should look at it and take what they like from extended universe, or now called Legends, and Disney canon, take what they want from each and mix up their own universe. Like, decide what is canon to them, what is part of their own personal Star Wars, what fits and what doesn't. Throw out the things that you don't like for your own personal enjoyment, and just keep the bits you do like. If you didn't like the prequel movies, find something that fits instead of them if you'd need to. If you don't like the sequels, put in something from extended universe that fits there instead. Like, you got the original Thrawn trilogy. They're great. They work for great sequel movies. There's a lot of really good Star Wars. And it took me a long time to come back round to it after The Rise of Skywalker, but, you know, once I did, and once I realised I could decide what was canon to me, it's so good to be able to just go, this is what fits, this is what doesn't, push out the things that don't fit my version of Star Wars. Because, you know, everyone has the right to like what they do like, what they personally like and what they don't. Everyone can, you know, have their own opinions. We're all different to each other. You may like one thing that I don't, or you might like things things, or you might not like things that I do. That's fine. Find your own Star Wars. Find your own niche, your own decided personal canon. Because we all should have the Star Wars that we love for ourselves. But it doesn't invalidate anyone else's choice. Don't go off and say your choice is wrong, because it's not. Everyone is entitled to their own opinions and their own choices. What I've been telling you throughout these credits has just been my own personal sort of choices and what I like about Star Wars and what I don't. But everyone else is gonna have, you probably have your own ideas of what you like and what you don't, and that's fine. I think everyone should. Otherwise, we would all be the same as each other and the world would be boring, because we'd all have the exact same thought processes all the time, and thus no entertainment would be possible because we'd have all thought of it already. We're not a bunch of clones. Or not even going so far as clones, because Star Wars shows in the Clone Wars series, clones are still individuals. To be, to not have your own opinions and to try and force others into the same opinion as yourself is going further than clones. It's going to collective hive mind level of stuff, and that's ridiculous. It's, we shouldn't all think the same. We should have our own thoughts, our own feelings in regards to different things, and decide for ourselves what we like and what we don't like. But it doesn't invalidate anyone else's choices, so don't, get angry for what other people like or don't like. Don't tell them they're wrong, because they're not. They just think differently to you, and that's excellent. They should. But yeah, go find your own Star Wars. Go find your own semblance of personal canon. There is an after credits scene. Excellent. And enjoy it.
It's not exactly what we expected. But this place is our home now.
Yeah, Grease. Yeah, I guess it is. Still got a lot of work ahead of us.
It will take time to contact the hidden path.
And find the anchorites.
And build a saloon. I mean, the place is creepy, but it does have franchise potential.
This belongs with you.
No, it belongs
with all of us. What do you think, kid? Should we give it a shot?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Ah, that's the spirit.
I love that look for
That's
BD.
great. Come on, I'll bet you're hungry. I'll make you something to eat. Did you ever have a scaz stick?
Why did the music go dark there? Okay. Journey complete. You have reached the end of your journey. However, the galaxy can be freely explored and there may be secrets left to discover. New Journey Plus is now available from the main menu. All stances and cosmetics from previous games will be unlocked, along with some new perks and lightsaber colors. Ooh! Any skill points will also carry over to your new game. New Journey Plus free perks. Purity grants a massive increase in weapon damage for both friends and foes. Warrior replaces standard enemies with new, more difficult combat encounters. Trend Setter randomizes your cosmetics on death. That's weird. Okay. Right, well, I think that about does it for this episode of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Thank you for joining me on my journey through this game. I know that I ranted a lot during the credits. Part of that was trying to fill time while the credits rolled, because they just kept on going. But I have loved this game. This is my favourite game of the year so far. It is in my top 5 games of all time at this point, which is another list I'll probably share eventually, but probably during like the end of year sort of, you know, here's my list of top games for the year, here's different categories, you know, my game awards or something like that. But yeah, this is in my top 5 games of all time at this stage, and I've loved it. I've loved every moment of it. They did a brilliant job with it. I wish it ran well from the start and I didn't have to wait for patches for it to run well. I mean, I didn't wait, I just kept playing because I was loving everything about it. The fact that they have made me enjoy open world with this game is great. Because when open world first came about back in the mid-2000s, I really enjoyed the open world experience, but then further into it, they got more lazy with open worlds, and they just had giant expanses of absolutely nothing in between, except maybe some enemies, but even then they barely ever put them in. So it was just this giant section of running for no reason, and that was kind of boring when they started doing that. It was when they started going, look at the size of our open world game, instead of just going, oh yeah, it's open world. But yeah, they've actually managed to make me like it again, which I'm very grateful to. But yeah, thank you for joining me for my journey through Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Have a good one, be kind to yourself, be kind to each other, and I will see you next time. Bye.